Well, the British government the other day said that there were very serious findings in the Openshaw report and that they thought that action should be taken. That is obvious, and the most self-evident reality is that the most serious findings in the Openshaw report are about Mr. Picardo himself. The findings that he had grossly improper conduct and his attempts to interfere in a criminal investigation. For him to come to the GBC interview and then in effect deny that the comments of the British government were about him was absolutely stunning. It is part of this narrative, of this repackaging of the truth of the Openshaw report that everybody can see when they pick it up.
I think Mr. Picardo was suggesting that there were other serious findings in the report, and Stephen Doughty did not make it clear what he was referring to.
I think Mr. Picardo and indeed the GSLP are embarked in a campaign, a shameless campaign, of widening and repackaging the Openshaw report. People can read it for themselves. But clearly, I mean, there was a scattergun approach in Mr. Picardo's interview the other day. He even talked about things that were not even findings of the Openshaw report as being catalysts for change. I mean, this is a fairly shameless attempt at completely confusing the viewer about the real findings. The real findings, the most serious ones, were about him, that on several occasions he grossly, improperly attempted to interfere in a criminal investigation. That is the reality. So we cannot move from that until lessons are learned. And the first lesson is a lesson that needs to be learned by the government and the Chief Minister himself.
Mr. Azopardi, you've said several times that the Chief Minister is in denial about the findings of the report, but the judicial process is such that if you're not happy with the finding, you can challenge that, and people do challenge that through the appeal system. Why do you seem to be so critical of the Chief Minister for doing what he's only entitled to do, and which perhaps you would also do were you in those circumstances?
Well, I wouldn't be in that position because I wouldn't have called Commissioner McGrail to berate him. I wouldn't.
No, but what I mean is if a finding is made about you that you don't agree with, you too would challenge it, surely.
Well, what I certainly wouldn't do is to shamelessly create this narrative of vindication and exoneration when plainly they haven't been vindicated or exonerated. And look, I mean, of course he can pursue his rights as a private citizen to take things to a judicial review. If he does, as a private citizen, he should pay for it. He shouldn't get the taxpayer to pay for it after £8 million have been spent on establishing the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. He shouldn't come on GBC and say that he said in 2022 and 23 that he would establish the truth, but he's not happy with the truth, and the truth hasn't yet been established. So things like that I wouldn't do. And it's quite stunning to hear him say that he's been exonerated, that there are other serious findings affecting other people, but yet no one else who allegedly have faced serious findings like him has filed a judicial review. Only he has.
Yet despite that, the Chief Minister has committed to implement all of Sir Peter Openshaw's recommendations within 100 days.
We will judge those commitments when we see the bills that are going to be taken in Parliament in due course, in final form. We will judge those things when we see the meat of those reforms. Because the reality is, as we keep saying, that this is a government that doesn't even recognize the truth of the Openshaw findings, that is riling against them, that is creating these counter-narratives that are absolutely false, that they are not learning the lessons. And if they aren't learning the lessons, they are not the people who should spearhead these reforms.